This is a continuation of problem 840, and we had just finished creating a new color with the red, green, blue blend. So I'm going to delete that step. It makes me feel like I've accomplished something when I cross them off or delete those steps. Now the next few lines of instructions are probably not quite enough to get it accomplished, so that's another reason I made this video. So it says we're going to create an integer variable named size to hold the current image's width, and that's actually going to be a kind of a two-step process. So the current size, int size, and what we want is the current image's width. But I am inside a method, and I don't have any local variables for an image, and so I need to create a local image variable in order to hold that width. So I'm going to do greenfoot image. I'm going to double check the syntax, and I think I'm just going to copy this code, and then we will talk about it here. So you guys can take a moment to type that in if you so need. But what's happening here is we are actually going to, in order to accomplish the task that we want, we are actually going to, when this ball bounces off the wall, we're going to create a new ball or body, planet, whatever we call them. And you won't see that it's a new ball, but as soon as it bounces off the edge, it's going to change color. Like right here, as soon as it bounces off the edge, we're actually going to replace it with a new image, and that new image is going to have a new color. So we're actually replacing the image, even though that's what you guys see is just the same ball. So if we go back into the body class where we left off, I need to capture the current image, and I need to capture that current image's size so it doesn't appear like the ball is changing size when it bounces off the wall. And that's what we're doing here with these two lines of code. And then we need to look at the parameterized body constructor to see how you actually create an image or a planet. Okay, so if I scroll back up to the top here, the parameterized constructor is this constructor that has 4 arguments. So when a body was originally created, a size was used, which is why we need the size variable. The mass was given, and we're not going to change the mass, so I'm not going to worry about that variable. The velocity was given, and we're not changing the velocity, so we're not going to change any of that. And then a color was given. So we're actually changing or working with these 2 arguments, color and size. And the only reason we needed size was because right here, when we create this fill oval, we need to use size minus 1 as an argument. And so in order to make that work, we had to get the current image's size. And so I'm actually just going to be using these 3 lines of code. Then from here, we're going to borrow those. These 3 lines of code are in the constructor, so they're never executed anywhere else in the code. And so when I need to create or change the color, I'm going to actually create a new image. I need to borrow them so I can recreate that image. Once I have an image, and that image variable was here when I created a greenfoot image, then that's going to refer to the current image that's within this particular method. And what you have to do is we're going to set the color. We're going to actually create the new image, which is an oval. It's an oval that has the same horizontal width as vertical width. You might know that as a circle. And then we set the image to that image. And so set image is actually what places it on the screen. This just kind of constructs it behind the scenes, but we won't actually see it until you set the image. That should actually do what we need. I'm going to compile, and we will go back and see if we can run this code. And I might mute so that we don't hear the wonderful music. But watch the edge of the screen and watch for balls bouncing off and just see if you can see the colors changing. It's easier to look at the larger circles. and you can see that the colors are changing. So we have successfully completed the code to do a color change, and that was exercise 840. We accomplished all of our hints, so I'm going to delete those out. And now 841 is making planets change color each time they hit an obstacle. And when that happens, you can actually reuse this change color routine. I guess mine was running because I already had the code written. I did forget to tell you or forget to mention that you do have to call the change color method. And that's right here. When it's bouncing off an edge, you're going to change the color. Whether it's bouncing off the X horizontally, or if it's bouncing off Y, which goes vertically, then you've got to change the color. And it will be up to you then to figure out where the code goes to change the planets every time they hit an obstacle. But you should be able to use this same idea in order to do that. Good luck, and that is it.